Fine. So let us start with the training. Out here. Let's go for a brief introduction. Okay, and a brief. I did an introduction course FAQs. Let's start with the brief history of Selenium and where it is going ahead and what all can you expect from this tool. Okay, look, this is first class. It's more of you can say introductory class. Okay, so let's start from the very basics, that how Selenium evolved over a period of time and what are the benefits of learning this tool. Okay, and whether you should learn this tool or you should learn some other tool. Alright, look, Selenium primarily when it came in the market, okay, it had three components. One was RC, one was IDE, Selenium IDE, it is still there, and one is GRID. Okay, IDE is a tool which primarily worked only on Mozilla Firefox. Okay, right, and it was primarily a record and run tool. Most of you must be knowing the features of record and run. This feature is there in every automation tool. Whether you take up Selenium or any other automation tool, record and run feature is always there. But this feature is not useful, because today you can record a website, you can go and record bbc.com, but tomorrow what will happen is that bbc.com, when you record it, right, the elements on the page will change completely. Okay, right, and what will happen is that when the elements change completely, when you run the script after that, the script might fail. So record and run is not a good feature. Moreover, IDE generates no reports. No reports are generated by IDE. If you have got 1000 test cases, you will not come to know that what happened in the end. Alright, fine. And moreover, it's not a very professional tool. Okay, it doesn't give you very consistent results. Every time you run the script, it will give you a different result. This happens in IDE. Okay, so that is why people started using RC. RC code was dynamic. It worked on all the browsers. Okay, Chrome, IE, Firefox, all the browsers. But a tester had to learn a programming language like Java, C#, Python, Perl, PHP, any one of them to learn RC. And RC was like, it could generate reports, it could work dynamically. Fine. Okay. And GRID was used to run the test cases parallelly. Okay, you can make a central hub, connect the nodes to the hub, and you can run the tests parallelly on the nodes. Okay, to save time, this was the only feature, or this was the only utility. Now what happened is that over a period of time, people saw that there were various drawbacks with RC. Okay, I don't want to go into the details of drawbacks. Like for example, RC used to start from a command prompt. You used to open a command prompt, start the server. Many times you used to face issues. You had to restart the PC and all that stuff. The server never used to shut down. So you used to have issues. Okay, so people came up in 2011 August with a tool known as WebDriver. Okay, right. Now what happens is that WebDriver, it works on multiple browsers, it requires programming and everything, but it gives you many more features than RC. You don't need to learn RC in order to learn WebDriver. It is not mandatory. You can directly learn WebDriver. Okay, Selenium IDE is still there. It's improved a lot, but still we don't use it professionally in any company. Okay, very few companies try to use IDE. And GRID has evolved into something known as GRID 2, which is supporting WebDriver. Okay, so GRID 2 also helps you to run the test cases parallelly. Alright, now talking about what we will be learning in this course, primarily we will be learning WebDriver and we will be learning GRID. Okay, IDE you can watch the pre-recorded videos as well and learn from them. Okay, Right. Now, what is the future of this tool? Where is it going? Look, it will forward integrate into many different areas, this tool. For example, there is a new tool which has come up, Appium. This is for mobile automation. So if you learn Selenium, then learning Appium becomes easy. Okay. Moreover, when you learn Selenium, you end up learning Java. And if you end up learning Java, then learning other automation tools. That is, if you know Java, then if you learn if you try to learn QTP, it will be easy. If you try to learn a tool like SOAP UI, which is for web services, then you will find that you are able to grasp this tool easily because you already know Java. Fine. Moreover, if you try to learn a load testing tool like JMeter, okay, so it becomes easy. So it's not just that Selenium. If you learn Selenium, you actually learn Java, and because of which learning other tools also, it gives you a upper hand. You can learn them easily. Fine. Okay. At times people ask me that what is the job requirement for this tool and whether there is a requirement for this tool in the market or not. Well, there is a requirement. Okay, if you go to the website dice.com, which is a very famous website in US. Okay, let's take example of US. Everywhere the market is there. Okay, right. And if you open this website and if you just search for Selenium, okay, if you find jobs, you will find that around, hold on, around 1300 positions are there for Selenium. Okay, but if you talk about a tool like QTP or UFT, fine. Okay, if you find jobs for it, you will find around hold on, around 440 positions. Okay, so obviously Selenium has a better demand. Okay, you can try this in India as well on Naukri.com website. Okay, Selenium supports C#. There's a doubt being asked in other. Look, some companies use C# with Selenium, some companies use Java with Selenium. Okay, 70% of the companies they are using Java with Selenium. Okay, so we are doing this course with Java. Alright, now what is important? What is important to learn Selenium? Important is Java, and it's not just Java. You have to go and learn object oriented programming. Oops. QTP is an automation testing tool just like Selenium. It's a paid tool. Okay, Banashri, it's a paid tool. Alright. So out here you have to learn the concepts of object oriented programming. Okay, and to learn the concepts of why am I telling you to learn the concepts of object oriented programming? If you go to the official website of Selenium, okay, seleniumhq.org, this is the official website of Selenium, and out here if you go to the download section, fine, okay. So the first of all, the first line written on the home page of this website is, that is seleniumhq.org. Selenium automates browsers. Okay, it's a web automation testing tool. It cannot be used for desktop based clients. Okay, it can only be used for web based applications. Right. The second is that if you go to the download section, fine, you will find that if you scroll down, you will see a Java doc option over here. Okay, if you go to this Java doc, this is the documentation of Selenium. Okay, the official documentation. Look, these are all the classes inside Selenium. Fine, and you'll not be able to understand anything if you don't understand the concepts of object oriented programming. You can't even read the documentation properly. So my focus in the training from day 2 would be to start with the concepts of object oriented programming, because once we go down and we start with Selenium and the projects and all, you will not be able to understand anything. Okay, if I don't teach you this and if you don't know this. Okay, right. So now let us start with the first step, that is installing Java. Okay, you have to learn Java. Without Java, you cannot move ahead. And if you're I again repeat, if you're a kind of person who has never done programming, if you don't even know what looping is, what functions are, and you're never comfortable with it, then don't join this training. Buy the access to the video tutorials first from the website, watch them, and then pay the remaining money and join the class. Many people in this class have done like this. That's why around 16 to 17 seats have filled up. Okay, right. Now, the first thing is that you need to install JDK. This is Java Development Kit. Fine, most of you must have installed Java. Okay, if you have a 64-bit operating system, which almost everybody has, you need to go to Google and type download JDK. Okay, just search for JDK on Google. Go to the first link, which is this one, the Oracle link. Okay, and out here, click on this download button, download, and scroll down, accept the license, and download it for your 64-bit machine. If you have a 32-bit machine, then also you can install it. It will give you an added advantage. Download and install it. It's just like a regular installation, right? You just need to click on next, it will be installed. Alright, after it's installed, just go to command prompt and open a command prompt and type Java. So if you get a message like this, something like this, that means Java is installed perfectly fine on your PC. Okay, the next thing is you need to install Eclipse. Eclipse is the editor for Java language. Okay, so go to Google and type download Eclipse. Eclipse is something which will help you to write Java code in a very effective manner. Fine. Most of you would be knowing these things, but I am starting from the very basics because I don't want to miss anything, and many of the people are a little new out here as well. Okay, so you download Eclipse, and you know what? I would suggest that you download the Eclipse version Luna. This is because TestNG we'll be doing later on, and TestNG is little stable with Luna. Fine. So download Eclipse Luna. Alright. You can download it from this link. I will give you the link on the WebEx chat as well. Okay. Go here. Click on this download button. Okay. And you can download it from here. Once you have downloaded it, Eclipse comes as a bundle. Fine, this is Eclipse in my PC. Alright, you extract the zip file and you will get this eclipse.exe. Start this. Now, one thing is there, guys, please make sure that you have installed JDK, because if you have not installed JDK, then Eclipse will not work. Okay, right. Now, this is the workspace path, the path where you will be storing all the projects and all everything. Right, I will make a class known as July 2016 weekday. Okay, so this is the path where all the batch, whatever batch we record, whatever batch code we make, okay, we'll be storing it in this particular path. Okay, so you click on OK and Eclipse will take up some time to start up. Alright, now just a minute. So I told you how to download Eclipse. Fine. Now just a minute. Let Eclipse start. Now, how do I start working with Selenium? How do I install Selenium and all that stuff? Okay, people ask all these questions as well on day one. I will come over to all of your questions. Okay, just give me some time. Fine, I don't want to rush up with things. Hold on. This is the welcome screen of Eclipse. You can close it. Fine. And you can go to File, New, Other. Okay, you can go to the top menu, File, New, Other, to create a new project in Java. Okay. In Other, you will see that there is an option known as Java. And if you expand it, right, you will see the Java project over here. Okay, so create a simple Java project and click on Next and call the project day one. Fine. Click on Next and finish. Fine, click on yes. If you get a message like this, click on yes, and you will see this project on the left hand side. At the bottom we'll be generating the output, and in the central portion we'll be writing the code. Okay, you can close these things, task list, outline, this is not required. Okay, now if you expand this project, you will see a source folder and GRE system library. This GRE system library is nothing but Java which is installed in your system. Okay, right. If you right click on this project, you will see lot of options. We will be using these options. Okay, go to the properties of the project. Fine, and you will see the path to the project. Okay, most of you would be knowing these things, whatever I am teaching. Okay, so just bear with me, right? So you can go to the properties option, and we will be using the properties option a lot in the training, right? Under the resource tab, you will have the path where the project is lying, right? If I copy this path and go physically over there, you will see the day 1 folder. Okay, under the day 1 folder, you will have the source folder, right, which is available in Eclipse as well. In Eclipse, you can map it. You can see this source folder over here, but rest of the stuff is not visible to us in Eclipse. That is fine. Okay, this is the main folder in which we'll be keeping the Java files. Okay, you can create a new Java file by right clicking on the source folder and creating a new class, and I'll just name the class as sample, and make sure you check on this checkbox, public static void main, right, and finish. Okay, right, now go to, I'll just hold on, I'll just improve the font size so that you are able to see the stuff very clearly. Hold on. Right. Okay, now the first line is public class sample. It starts over here. This is the main function. Main function is there in every programming language, whether you take C, C++, anything. This is the function in which the control comes up for the first time. Okay, what is public? What do you mean by static? Okay, just accept these things as they are. In some time when I start with object oriented programming, you will come to know what static is, what public is, and all everything. Okay, right, so the control will come inside this main function when you run this program. Okay, suppose if I write system.out.println. Okay, this is the command to print something in Java. Okay, that shortcut is you type syso and hit control spacebar of your keyboard. This command will come up. Okay, right, and in this I can just type learning Selenium. So you can run this Java program. You can run this from the run icon over here, this run button. Okay, when you click on it, it will run, and at the bottom you will see the output learning Selenium. Okay, right, so this is a simple Java program, right? Most of you must be knowing these things. Okay, what I am assuming in this training is that you know basics, you know what integer is, right, you know what a string is, because I cannot go into this depth, right? You know what a for loop is, you know what a while loop is, you know what functions are. Okay, you know about these concepts. I am assuming that. Okay, what I will be focusing now is on object oriented programming. Okay, now before I move ahead, there are few issues which people face. Okay, issues like, right, issues like, for example, by mistake they close this console at times. They'll close it and then they don't know from where to open it back. If you want to bring it back, go to Window, Show View, Console. It will come back. By mistake you close your package explorer over here where you see the projects. You close it by mistake, and you can bring it back by going again to Window, Show View, package explorer, it will come back. So these are small issues, but people, when they get stuck with it, they get stuck very badly. Fine. Right. Now, moving ahead. Right. So over here, what we can do is, we will go to the project location. Let me go to the project location. In the project location, you have the source folder. Okay, under the source folder, I have this sample.java file. I can open it in a notepad over here as well. And correspondingly, there is a folder known as bin, in which you will see sample.class file. Class file, if I try to open it, okay, you will not be able to understand anything. Every Java file is converted to a class file. Right. If I make a new class over here, suppose sample2.java, okay, and inside it I just print hello. Fine. And if I run this program, it prints hello. And in the bin folder, you will see sample2.class file generated. So in Java, what happens is that for every Java file, you have a class file which is generated. Okay, and these class files are the executable files. You can say that they are sort of exe files. When you make a practical project, when developers build a project, they build a lot of class files in the project. They build a lot of Java files, and corresponding to every Java file, there is a class file. Okay, and when the client, okay, suppose this is the client, you have to deliver the client all the class files. So you don't deliver them one by one, you kind of wrap them in a single file that is known as a jar file. You send the jar file to the client. Jar file is nothing but it is a collection of many class files. Okay, for example, you see this JRE system library, right? If you expand it, you will see so many jar files inside it. Okay, these are the core Java jar files. Every jar file is having lot of class files in it. These class files are given by the people who made Java, right? And you can use the pre-existing features of these jars. Okay, for example, if I want to print the current date, I can write system.out.println new date. What is new date? It's known as creating the object. I'll come over to it. You import the date class, java.util.date. Okay, and when you run this program, it prints the current date, time zone and all, everything. Okay, right. So what happens is that on this line number 9, fine, you are using a date class which is inbuilt inside one of these jars. So you never had to do the hard work of getting the date. And similarly, this is the same thing in Selenium. In Selenium, everything is inbuilt. All you need to do is that you need to include the jar files of Selenium in this project and start working with it. Okay, right, everything in Selenium is inbuilt. Alright, what you need to do is that in order to configure Selenium on your PC, you can go to the official website of Selenium. Okay, go to the download section and you will see the download link for Java jars. You click on this download link and unzip the folder. Okay, right, you will get this folder like Java, Selenium Java 2.53.0. Okay, right, and inside it you will see two jar files. One would be this one, another would be sources jar. Actually, you don't need this sources jar. This is not required. Okay, this one is required. This actually contains the source code of Selenium. Selenium is open source tool. Anybody can see the source code. This jar file holds the source code. You can extract it with WinZip or WinRAR. Okay, and you will be able to see the source code. But otherwise, practically, you don't need it. You need this jar file, and you need all the jar files under the lib section. Okay, under the lib folder, you will have so many jars. You will need all of them. Alright, so what you need to do is that you need to go to Eclipse and you need to import the jar files in this project to make this project Selenium enabled. Okay, whosoever made Selenium made all these jar files. These jar files, they hold the Selenium classes, right? So what you can do is that to import these jars inside Eclipse, you can right click on the project, go to the properties, right, go to Java build path. Okay, in properties you will see many options. Go to Java build path. Under Java build path you will be seeing 4 tabs. Okay, go to the libraries tab, this one. You will be seeing that the current library associated with the project is GRE system library, which is current Java, which is installed in the project. You can add the external jars. You can click on this button, add external jars, and include all the jar files for Selenium. You need to include the main jar file, which is 2.53 or whatever is the version. Don't include the sources jar. The main jar file, you include it, and the jar files in the lib section as well. All of them you include in the project. Okay, don't forget to include all the jar files of lib. Fine, click on OK and you will see the reference library section generated over here, which will contain the jar files for Selenium. Okay, and that is how Selenium is configured. Selenium is not installed, it is configured. Okay, there is no exe for Selenium. Now one thing, if you don't see this reference libraries, then make sure that you are in the Java perspective in Eclipse. This is the Java perspective. If you don't see yourself, then click on this icon over here. Okay, and if you click on it, you see various perspectives. Just select the Java perspective from here and you will see the reference library section. Okay, right. Now out here you have got Selenium jar files. These Selenium jar files hold the various inbuilt features of Selenium. For example, if I write over here new Firefox driver, so what will happen is that, hold on, you need to import Firefox driver class. Okay, and if I run this code, you will see that a blank Firefox browser will open. Hold on, you see that a blank Firefox browser, it has opened. So the basic thing is, I never did anything. I just gave a simple command and it opened Firefox, and that's what I want to tell you, that everything is in Selenium is inbuilt. You need to know how to read the documentation of Selenium and work. The objective of this course is not to spoon feed you. The objective of this course is to make you self-sufficient, so that if you are stuck somewhere, you click on the Java doc link over here, go to the documentation and find the appropriate class or something, whatever way you need to work with, and you are able to do it. And to do all these things, you need to understand the concept of, again, object oriented programming. Without that, you cannot move ahead. Alright, fine. It's a Selenium API, Selenium architecture. Everything in it is inbuilt. So anybody having any questions till now? Anybody with any questions? Oops, this is what we will be focusing on right now. Before I don't want to directly jump over to Selenium. I can, but I don't want to. right? Okay, there is a question being asked, what all frameworks will, okay, frameworks, okay, everybody is interested in that, I know that. Okay, most of the students, they want to learn the frameworks and all that stuff. Look, if you talk about a framework, okay, then what is a framework? There are few things which come into the mind, that what is a framework. The next question is, which comes into the mind, how do you build it, and how many different types of frameworks are there. Okay, so there are a few questions which come into our mind when you talk about frameworks. Okay, look, what is a framework? Let me talk about this thing first. Right, few people in the class since the beginning, they are asking me these questions, so I just want to take them. Right, look, the main objective of this course is how to develop a framework. Many people ask me the question, will you cover a live project or something? Live project is nothing, it's basically a framework only. When you work practically with Selenium, okay, when you build test cases, suppose these are your Selenium scripts. Okay, these are the Selenium scripts, like this is the first test case 2, test case 3, test case 4. Now when you run your scripts, you would want that the scripts should run in a certain order, or you would want that, fine, I want to execute TC1, after that I want to execute TC3, I don't want to execute TC2. I want to specify an order of my choice in which I want to run the test cases. Apart from this, when the automation scripts they run, right, you want the data to be read from an Excel file or an XML file. Okay, or you would want that you should be having, say, a properties file from which the data is shared with the test cases. You would also want that you have to generate reports. You have to generate HTML reports. You need to put the screenshots in the reports. You need to put the logs in the reports. What are logs? That what happened when the test cases were running. Because if you have a long script, like if your script takes, or if your whole scenario takes, say, 10 hours to execute. So when the script runs for 10 hours, what happened and each and every second should be logged inside the reports. Okay, so for example, reports like these, I'll just give you some sample report. These are the extent reports. Okay, like this is a sample report. This is one of the test case. This is one of the test cases, right? Every test case executes. It prints the time and what happened at each and every time I'm opening the browser, then I'm navigating to some URL and all that stuff. And you know, when the script runs, you would want to embed the screenshot as well in the reports. Okay, you see this screenshot, right? And you would want a detailed description of every test case like this. You would also want a graphical representation of the execution like this in form of pie chart diagrams and all. So you would want to generate such reports. Alright, so how will you do all these things? Selenium will not help you do these things. Selenium is only in this red box. Selenium is a tool which will only help you interact with the browser. If you want to handle browser, that's it. It's not like QTP or UFT where you have got everything inbuilt and you can do everything. Right, in Selenium, there is no command to generate reports, read data from Excel, XML file and all that stuff. Okay, you have to bring in a centralized controller. This centralized controller is the test ng framework, or sometimes people use JUnit, or they use BDD frameworks like Cucumber and all everything. Okay, so what they do is that these frameworks, they control everything. They read the data, they call the respective test cases in certain order, pass over the data to the test cases. They help you generate reports with HTML reports with screenshots, logs and all everything. Okay. Moreover, in future, if you have to integrate the project with Jenkins, you want to run the project with Ant, or you want to run the project with Maven, these tools also help you with that. Okay, so the complete thing, right, the complete picture, this complete thing is known as a framework. Okay, so this is the major goal of our course. Okay, right now we'll study this, how to learn WebDriver, then we'll study TestNG, reading Excel, XML properties files, report generation, and then we'll club everything into a framework. Okay, this is what a framework is. How it is made, it's very difficult to answer this in just 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, it's a very long process. And what are the different types of frameworks you have? Look, you have got various different types of frameworks. Okay, if you go to the website qtpselenium.com, then in the pre-recorded sessions I have discussed all of them. Hold on. Like you have, just a minute. You have a data-driven framework. Now, data-driven framework can be made using JUnit, or it can also be made using TestNG. So you can use JUnit or you can use TestNG and build the data-driven framework. There is also something also known as page object model in Selenium. Okay, so this is the page object model framework. Okay, like it's over 7 hours. Like, so I just cannot tell you what they do and how they are, but I can tell you the types of frameworks right now. There is something known as hybrid framework as well, which is a mixture of data-driven and keyword-driven framework. Then you have got BDD frameworks like Cucumber and all. It is there inside the recorded sessions, right? So I cannot cover all of these frameworks in one class, to be very honest, because they are huge. Okay, if you just look at one framework, I have taken around 8 hours or 7 hours to just explain one type of framework. So I'll take any one of them, whatever you tell me in this class, and I'll explain you that. The remaining types of frameworks, you can do it from the pre-recorded videos as well. Okay, because I cannot take all of them. I can take one of them, do it properly and completely with you. That will be better. Okay, right. So anybody with any other question? Anyone? We record the current session, you will get the recordings as well. Anyone with any question? Nothing? Right. So I'll stop here. Okay, today was just an introductory class. Okay, tomorrow we'll be starting with the concepts of object-oriented programming, then interfaces and all that stuff. If you want to join the training, you can go to our website qtpselenium.com and you can probably come over to the live chat, or you can click on the contact trainer link over here, and this is the contact trainer link, and join the training from here. Okay, right. Which is the mostly used framework for Selenium? This is one of the questions being asked, that what is the mostly used framework? Look, there is nothing known as mostly used framework. It depends on what kind of project you have, what kind of website you have. Every website is different. Okay, if your project is something which is unstable, there are a lot of bugs in it, then I would suggest go for data-driven framework. If it is very stable, go for hybrid framework. If it's got a very peculiar page structure, then go for page object model. So there are various decisions which have to be taken. Okay, there is nothing like a bad framework or a good framework, right? You have to. Now this is another question. Can we record and use those scripts in WebDriver by migrating them in? No, you don't try to do that. Don't try to record the script and migrate it. It will never be successful. You'll always face issues. Okay, there's another question being asked, that is there any test website we will? Yeah, you can. I'll give you lots of websites. That is not a problem. I have got lots of websites with me. Okay. Right, so we'll be doing a lot of exercises. The exercises and all will start from the day 6 actually, where we have actually have some background and at least we are on a certain level. Right. The other question is that can you please tell us how can we play this recorded sessions? I'll be mailing you the recorded video. Okay, I'll be uploading and mailing everybody in some time. You'll get the mail. Okay. Right. Okay. So anybody with any questions? Right, so fine then. Okay, I'll end up the session. We'll meet tomorrow. You'll get a new WebEx meeting invite for tomorrow's class. All right, and again I repeat, people who have joined the meeting, please join it early. Okay, because we open the gates for you 45 minutes before during the right, it's only for the trial classes so that you don't miss it. Okay. Yes, the recorded session which we are doing, and the websites have also got, my website has got some pre-recorded sessions as well. You will get access to all of them. I think you must have it, right? If you have paid the fees, you will get access to those sessions as well. Yeah. So, fine then. Yeah. I hope nobody has any other question. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Thank you.